Welcome back, everyone, to another Tech Times exclusive interview. Today, we have the pleasure of talking to NOTRAFFIC co-founder and CEO, Tal Kreisler. Tal, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me.
Okay, so NOTRAFFIC, I understand, is battling not only the emissions, but also the congestion that a lot of cities may see. So if you could please just tell us a little bit more about NOTRAFFIC and really what is the inspiration behind this technology?
Cool. All right. So if I'm going back to the beginning of early 18 or the end of 2017, together with my two partners, we've kind of started the company with the goal of developing or harnessing the latest technology to the field of traffic management in order to provide solution for today's challenges, but also to tomorrow's challenges, right? And it's kind of amazing when we speak about smart mobility, almost each and every one of those verticals, like priority for public transportation, emergency vehicle preemption, micro mobility, and all the way up to connected and autonomous vehicles. All of those verticals require some kind of support or depend on the signalized grid attention or collaboration. And the funny thing is that traffic management side, the way that we are managing traffic using traffic light have not changed since 1914, roughly. So we're still following the same methodologies and the same principles, meaning that the majority of traffic lights today in the US and worldwide are still offline. And all of them are still running timing plans. So there is not really any collaboration between whoever use the roads and whoever managing the traffic. So this is kind of how we started with the goal of combining these two parallel lines that were not communicating till today. And we developed a world-leading IoT platform for urban mobility that retrofit any existing intersection connected to the cloud and allow it to work as a whole dynamic network to support various types of mobility and allow the traffic light grid to work as a one dynamic network. So increasing the efficiencies and allowing various types of mobility. And as a byproduct, we are also reducing congestion. We can save a lot of emissions and make transportation way more efficient in urban environments and safer.
Okay, well, yeah, speaking of emissions, I understand that there was a recent client study, I think, where NOTRAFFIC was able to reduce CO2 emissions by, I think, 30 plus tons. So maybe you could explain to us a little bit, just how does that work?
Great. So just kind of to explain the major impacts of this kind of technology. There's not a lot of technologies that actually affect the physical world. This is one of those technologies that actually affect the physical world, affect the environment. And based on the latest INRIX report, for instance, if we are improving every intersection in the US by 1 second, we can save about 1.5 million tons of CO2, which is equivalent to close to 4 million oil barrels.
Wow.
Right. So any improvement in intersections, significant improvement, have a major impact on emissions and obviously on the air quality. So one of the methodologies that we've developed is the ability to start to measure improvements. We are deploying our solution, our platform, and then we are doing before and after comparison to show how we can improve the traffic flow and how much we can reduce the delay time for vehicles or any types of mobility in this specific region.
Okay, so the saving of the emissions, or the reducing of the emissions, I'm sorry, comes from, please correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, it comes from reduced idle time, like waiting at the red light. So you said 1 second per intersection could make an incredible physical, tangible difference.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're making vehicles spending less time on the road by controlling the lights in a more efficient way, or by connecting between whoever managed the traffic to the traffic itself. And therefore, vehicles are spending less time, but we also, by doing that, increasing the road capacity. so allowing more traffic to pass by and spending less time on the roads, and derived from this, we are reducing dramatically the emissions that are being generated.
Okay, that's incredible to think that it's 2022 and we're just now really discussing such, it seems like a no-brainer when you think once I discovered no traffic, I was like, how is this just now, coming to the forefront of, society? Like, this is something, and I know, a lot of cities and things look for these tools to guide them. So how exactly would a city or a small town, or maybe, an official transportation office, how would they use no traffic?
Great. So just to refer to your first point, there's a lot of complexities regarding the solution itself. We are one of the pioneers companies today that dealing with the technologies that called edge compute. And we basically using almost all types of technologies. So it's a very interdisciplinary company.
Okay.
So it's although it's kind of makes sense, it took us quite a time to get to fully commercial phase and to a product that is in a mature level. Mm-hmm. In terms of engagement with cities, so we are in a way replacing, let's call it legacy detection devices or other legacy products, using a smarter and a newer technology that not only replace the existing legacy stuff, but also providing a whole new range of other possibilities and applications.
Okay.
So they're getting what they have today, but in a better way and way more.
Okay, I see. So how do the equipment, let's say, maybe you can walk us through how the equipment is utilized, maybe installed, monitored, those type things.
Cool. So we have basically two IoT devices. One is AI sensors that we are connecting in any traffic lights or any place that give us line of sight to the approach.
Okay.
To any one of the approaches of the intersection. Those sensors can analyze data in a human eye level about every object that's approaching to the intersection, using fusion between camera, radar, and V2X communication. And then we have another device that we are connecting to the traffic light controller itself that allow us to connect the intersection of the controller to the cloud, and also to control the way that the traffic is being operated. Oh, okay. So this is like one of the verticals. The other vertical is a grid management system that we are providing to the agency. Mm-hmm. It's up to the agency to define their policies. We are not policymakers. We're just providing tools for the agency to use and define what they want to achieve. In a way, what we are doing is quite similar conceptually to autonomous vehicle, right? When you're stepping into the vehicle, you just define the address, mm-hmm. and you let the vehicle to drive, to use the brakes, to operate the vehicle. Mm-hmm. And this is what we are doing here also. We are allowing to the agency or to the city to define what they want to achieve in terms of policy. And we are allowing the computer or the system to manage the network in the most efficient way, considering all their types of policies that they would like to implement.
Oh, okay. I see. So I can imagine, I know we're not there yet, but the autonomous society, right, with deliveries and taxis and even emergency services. So I can imagine, and it's very exciting for myself, and I'm sure everyone that's watching, to imagine how NOTRAFFIC'S technology and data can be implemented into these autonomous cars, to where intersections will be almost, I don't know the right word to use, but very smooth and just like no, I know a large percentage of vehicle accidents are actually at intersections.
Yeah, 40%.
40%, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly where we are aiming to, and this is why we're already including today in our platform models that allow us to communicate with vehicles, to share and receive information with low latency, with the goal of supporting those type of advanced mobility from the infrastructure side, and to allow them to navigate in a safe and efficient way in various urban environments.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. I have one more thing to ask you about, and this is I probably already know the answer, but do you think that, so I did some research and I found that SCOOT, SCOOT, which is split cycle offset optimization technique, I think, which is what we all know and love as the timer for the red lights. And that was introduced in like the late 70s, I think, 1980, 79, 80, something like that. So do you think no traffic is the most significant innovation in highway and road sustainability in 40 years?
I don't like to speak for ourselves, but I can just say that we were just selected by the Time magazine as one of 100 most influential companies around the world. And we were just presented in the annual conference of NVIDIA by NVIDIA CEO as one of the companies that revolutionized traffic using AI. So we're getting a lot of great recognition from the tech environment, tech community, and also from a lot of other publications and news. So it's kind of great. And I'm glad to see that this domain that have huge influence on our life is now starting kind of like to wake up, and we're starting to see more technologies coming, because at the end of the day, it's for our own benefit, that we'll spend less time on the roads. We will live in more safer and efficient environment.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, well, I, for one, am very excited to see how this progresses and, you know, to see it at an intersection. You know, I have an intersection near my home that is a nightmare, to say the least. So I'm excited to see no traffic, you know, in my day-to-day. I think it'll be great. I think it's going to make a huge difference. So, Tal, I appreciate the time. And if you have any announcements or anything in the future, please feel free to come back and we'll discuss it.
Will do. Actually, we have quite a few announcements that we're going to launch soon about expanding to new markets and about launching with new cities and agencies. So I'll be obviously happy to keep in touch, and it was you know, great fun. So thanks for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to keep in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. Bye-bye.
And if you enjoyed this video you just watched, please hit like and subscribe. And be sure to stop by techtime.com for the latest in news about tech, science, business, and so much more.